Newsroom, but welcome to this edition of the Native News Update. I'm your host for today's program, Paul Demain, on this November 30th, a Monday. Many of the stories read here can also be found at our website at IndianCountryNews.com. Here are the news stories for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. The U.S. Forest Service said last week it was withholding snowmaking permits for a northern Arizona ski resort as a way to promote settlement talks in a long-running dispute between American Indian tribes and the resort's owners. The permits were delayed despite a U.S. Supreme Court decision in June that upheld the Arizona Snowbowl's right to spray man-made snow on San Francisco peaks. In addition, Snowbowl owner Eric Borowski said talks aimed at reaching a deal had ended a month ago. The stalemate marks the latest development in the dispute in which tribes insist making snow with wastewater would desecrate land they hold sacred and infringe on their religious beliefs. Snowball officials counter that man-made snow is necessary to ensure the survival of the ski resort, which opened in 1937 on Forest Service land and has struggled with short seasons because of the lack of snow. Virginia Governor Tim Kaine thinks 6 Virginia Indian tribes can win federal recognition before he leaves office this upcoming January. Kaine made the prediction recently in Richmond while receiving an offering of wild game from the tribes. The tradition of receiving that wild game dates back to a peace treaty signed in Virginia in 1677. About 200 people, including members of the tribes in their traditional attire, attended the ceremony. In the mid-1880s, the Menominee of Wisconsin were removed from the Paygrounds located near Lake Poygan in central Wisconsin. The story of this process and the walk is one of both Menominee and Wisconsin history. Next year, a walk will be held with an opening ceremony beginning on June 1st and the actual walk starting on June 2nd, 2010, and will be initiated at the site of the historical marker on the Paygrounds on the south end of Lake Poygan. The official name of the walk translates to a walk that tells a sacred story. The complete story, plan, goal, and people getting involved and other news will be shared on December 3rd at the Menominee Historical Preservation Department in Keshena, Wisconsin, beginning at 2 p.m. So go there if you're interested in it. You can also perhaps get more information at richieplass.bravehost.com. Fred Martinez was anything but simple. He was at various moments a boy, a girl, a Navajo, a Montezuma Cortez High School student, gay, transgendered, and a Nadalihe. In June 2001, in a ravine just south of Cortez, he became a murder victim. Now he's the subject of a movie, and if the filmmakers have their way, he will become a window into a view of gender that is at once new to America's society and older than America itself. Two Spirits, Sexuality, Gender, and the Murder of Fred Martinez premiered November 21st at the Stars Film Festival in Denver, Colorado. The maker of Two Spirits hoped the movie will shine the spotlight on Fred and his identity the way his death never did. Martinez's mother, Pauline Mitchell, is one of the main characters in the one-hour documentary. She attended the premiere and took the stage afterward wearing a rainbow pride flag pin and holding back tears as the audience of 500 applauded. The Oneida Indian Nation of New York has paid more than $5 million in bonuses split amongst almost all of its 4,800 employees. That's $400,000 more than last year. The Oneidas say business has been good, and its Turning Stone Resort Casino in Verona, New York did well even as the gambling industry nationally was hit hard by the recession. The Oneida Nation is the largest employer in central New York's Oneida and Madison counties. The bonuses announced last Friday went out to over 90% of its employees. And in our continuing review of the great health care debate in the United States, here's a short update with Mark Trahant, a Shoshone Bannock.
Well, now the Senate debate begins in earnest, and they'll be preparing enormous amount of amendments. Senator Tom Coburn from Oklahoma alone has promised amendments in the hundreds, so it could be a while. If they're going to finish it by the end of the year, looking at the calendar, they really have a so it's going to be intense for the next 4 weeks.
Do you frankly think that they're going to be able to complete this by the end of the year? In your guesstimation?
I don't think so. I would be really surprised if they got it through by the end of the year.
And this Coburn is he fighting the bill? Is that why he's talking about all these amendments?
Yes, he's absolutely opposed to it.
We have. Do they have the Democrats on board on this in their complete form?
No, the Democrats continue to be kind of all over the map. You have some that say they're on board, others that want to hold the line with a public option, and others that are going to return to the abortion debate. So there's more to go in that regard.
You think the public option is going to actually survive this whole debate?
Well, actually, I think that's kind of irrelevant. I have a column today. We have to pull back and look at the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is we have a demographic situation that is not sustainable. People my age, the baby boom, are growing older. And not only are we growing older, but we live longer. And somehow we have to pay for that. And whether it's through a public option or other ways to cut healthcare costs, something has to be done that's pretty radical.
You think they need to actually look at numbers of people and affordability of where the money's coming from?
Absolutely. I think it's as great. If we don't get this right, I'm not sure the United States survives as a nation. I think that's how big the stakes are.
Where can people go to find your column?
www.marktrahant.com.
We'll take a peek at it. Thanks a lot, Mark.
Take care.
And that is the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. We want to thank all of our underwriters for being with us, staying with us, and for you for coming back again and again to watch.